Hi everyone, I'm here today to share a altered junk journal style planner. This is actually a gift for my daughter who asked me if I could put together a journal for her with all of our home remedies and natural health type of things that we've used here at home now that she's away at college, and this is what I came up with. I thought you might enjoy seeing a different format other than using a planner for strictly days of the weeks and months and planning and such. So this turned out to be a different type of organizer. This is an A5 size Recollections planner, and I altered the front of it much like I describe in my new Altered Planners course. The tassel has sari silk in it from a fabulous shop, Victorian Gypsy, and I'll put the link to her shop below in the description box. I found this fabulous charm of the masks that the physicians used to wear during the plague. They would actually vent and put essential oils inside to protect them from the germs of the plague, and apparently it was quite effective for them. And I have an apothecary bottle on there. So I also left all the tails on this. I usually don't do that in my journals and stuff, but all of the strings and such are still dangling. I used 3 different digi-sets from my shop. I used Curious Herbal, The Naturalists, and Healers and Apothecaries, if you were curious where the various images came from. On the inside cover, I had room to make several small booklets, and they're just tea-dyed paper inside. I have tea-dyed tags that I had made for each of my homestead journals that have various natural healing and growing herbs and advice and things like that. So I printed her a copy and filled up the little pockets here with them. So the first section, it's got a neat dangly and a button on the tab. Just a little tag that says cilantro there. And I made several sets of flashcards for these, the way I describe in my tutorial on YouTube. So, and I'm letting her know that this is intended for her to build her own reference book. These are just suggestions and a few things that I have put in to get her started. Many of the pages are blank for her to fill in. I have begun to fill them in. It would take far too long to put everything in there that I'd like. Half the pages are made of cardstock and half of them are tea-dyed paper, and I've left her quite a few to fill out as she goes. Scribble on, journal, what works, what doesn't, what she's discovered. So that's the first section. The second is for essential oils. And there's a pocket on the front or back of each of the dividers. And what I've done is I've put the name of the most common oils that we use in this house, but I deliberately left this blank so we could talk about it and fill it out together. And by doing that, I'm hoping that she can kind of own the information because she has discovered it and discussed it with me, even though she knows to use it when we've had it and such. This kind of makes it hers, and I really like that. And I've put a number of blank tea-dyed pages in here for her. The third section is foods. Lots of healing, super healing foods out there. The yarrow tag. And what I've done is from a few of the superfoods tags that I have tea-dyed in previous homestead journals, I've attached them in here one for horseradish, and one for turmeric. I guess that could be considered an herb or a root spice, but I've always considered it a food because I try to eat my turmeric in curried, spiced dishes, and left lots of blank pages for her to fill that out. And then there's tea, and the tea could go under herbs, but we specifically use the herbal teas extensively, and I wanted her to have a special section just dedicated to that. Some of them we use the plant, and some the leaves and flowers, and in some we use the roots. So this is the only section I went ahead and printed the name of the substance, where I buy it, so she'll know where to get it from, what we've used it from, for how to prepare it, and notes about it, such as, in this case, licorice root is a natural steroid, and I wanted her to be aware that it had many of the same benefits on your adrenal glands and things that we get from prednisone. And I've just given her little snippets of things like that, since we do use the herbal teas so extensively. And I had tea-dyed tags, again, from my homestead journals for almost all of these substances, and even a few more. So I've just attached those onto the page that I've printed for her. So that'll be a good start for a go-to home remedy for her. I gave her most of these teas in little 4-ounce mason jars to take to school, in a big jar of dandelion, and she keeps them in a big basket to use there. So the next section is natural substances, and I put a 24 dangle on. That's the date of her birthday. I love that picture of the botanist asleep in the woods. That's from the Naturalist collection. This is a special B page under natural substances. These are the tea-dyed tags that I use in my homestead journal. And what I did was I stitched a page from my vintage Winnie the Pooh, the part where he was going for the honey on the top shelf. I think he was in Rabbit's house when he did that. And I've sewed it to a pretty bee page that I had from Gibbet's bee digital collection. So I'll also put a link to that below this video. I put the definition of alchemist on a tag. This section is on probiotics, and we, in our household, we use probiotics to help boost our immune system, what they call the gut flora, or the condition of your microbes in your digestive system can be affected greatly with probiotics, and we make our own by fermenting. I took my recipe for sauerkraut, which I keep fermented in the fridge. We don't cook it at all because that kills the bacteria that you want to consume in it, and these are extensive instructions for her to do that. I also saved the package from the kefir. This is for water kefir grains, which actually ferments sugar and converts the sugar into a very sweet, tasty probiotic. And this is the brand that I used, so I cut out the cover for it and put it in here, so if she ever needed to replace hers, she would know where to get those. And I put in quite a few blank pages, both on cardstock and tea-dyed. This ribbon is Tim Holt's Elements. He calls his fabrics elements, and I was so happy I found several bundles of fat quarters of his material at Joann Fabrics. I've been waiting for the Tim Holt memorandum and the Dapper lines of paper to come out in fabric, and I've been looking and looking, and none of the stores have had it. And I was checking out at a Joann's in a city nearby, and there was a bin in the middle of the aisle that you stand in to check out with fat quarters, actually they're fat eighths of both paper pads, and they were tied with the Tim Holtz Elements ribbon. I was so happy. I was squealing and went up to the register. I was telling other customers and the checkout clerk that I was so excited I had found Tim Holtz fabrics, and they're looking at me cross-eyed because unless you're into our genre, usually you don't know the significance of how exciting that can be to a junk journaler. So the next section I left largely blank for her. Different ailments she can put pages in, and then remedies. And I didn't really have a place for this, but I had an extra tea-dyed page of all of the dates for the full moon starting this past year through, I don't have my glasses on, I think that says 2031. So it gives her the dates for each of those, and we note all kinds of neat little patterns around those dates. So that's there for her, tea-dyed. This section is on detoxing for her. We do regular things just to get the toxins and the ook that we're exposed to all the time, and the water in the air and such. There's all kinds of natural substances that will help take those out of your system, and I created a section, my little sunflower there, for that. The significance of the sunflower, and I put a yellow button for the sunflower, is that sunflowers remove radiation from whatever they're exposed to. They planted fields of sunflowers near Chernobyl after they had a accident there with the radioactivity, because it purges the soil of the sunflowers, actually extract the radiation from it. And eating sunflower seeds actually will do the same for our bodies. Again, I just put some titles of things in here that we use that help us detoxify our bodies, and I'm hoping that she and I can, fill these things in and add to it with our discussions and such. This next section is household goodness. Lots of really healthy things that we keep around the house. Baking soda being a go-to wonderful substance for so many things, cleaning, for hygiene, for pharmaceutical, for cooking. I put in a recipe for homemade toothpaste here that has baking soda as one of the ingredients. So again, largely left this blank so that we can fill this out over time together. And then for pets, you might have heard me say in a previous video, some kids go off to college and they are exposed to all kinds of things that might not be what a parent wants. Drug, sex, rock and roll, dating, all of the things that we think of. My child, she has a habit of picking up stray kittens. And so we've done a section on pet health, because we, to the extent that we can, treat our pets as well with natural health substances. So I put a little kitty cat charm on her pet tab there. And what I've done is I've wrote in a few pages. She specifically asked if I would go ahead and rate the things that we use already that I've had her address her pet issues with. So, and quite a few pages for other things for her to add. And then I put in a section for grow, where she can start to document things that she grows in containers or in her little gardens, or things that we grow here, and how to produce as many of these things as she wants to. And I just put some blank tea-dyed pages there for her. And then in the back, I just took a piece of cardstock and I put this fabulous little trim on it, some pictures. So there was no room really to add. Usually I add a little book to slip into the insert here on the back cover, but there is just no room left in this book to do that. So that is Sarah's altered planner, and I will give this to her when she comes home this weekend on vacation. So if you're interested in making one of these, my altered planner course is available both on Etsy and on Teachables. And I am creating several full-size journals with the healing theme, the natural healing theme, but it won't have any information. It's a sticky area to give people medical advice, even if you're just telling them what we do. Health is different for everybody. Something that might help cure or heal me or keep me well may not work the same way for you or someone else. So it's really a self-discovery thing. My natural journals will have all of the templates and sections to fill in things without any of the information themselves. So if somebody else is interested in creating this kind of a health desk reference, they can do it themselves. So thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you soon.